My name is Al Filreis, and since 2012 I've been teaching a course, an open online course through the Coursera platform here at the University of Pennsylvania called ModPo. And in that time, I have taught 180,000 people, of which I would say between 30 and 35,000 have been actively involved. In my 34 years teaching here at the University of Pennsylvania, I've taught in person about 3,500 people. And in the last 7 years, I think 35,000 people have fully engaged with my pedagogy, which is just astonishing. In terms, if one is trying to reach out to new students and more students, this is a great way to do it. In 2012, when Coursera approached me and some other colleagues about doing this, I jumped at it. So I had been experimenting, as many of us have, with various forms of online teaching. This gave me a broad base. We're committed at ModPo to free, open, non-credit. So it's really not an issue that a lot of the students come, they do a month, then life gets in the way, they come back the following year. I'm not really all about certifying them or giving them grades. ModPo gives me a chance to be a teacher and an advocate of the poetry I admire in front of and for and also on behalf of tens of thousands of people who would never ordinarily be my student, and yet there's a great satisfaction in visiting a far-off city and having someone come up to you and say, wow, you're Al from ModPo. You know, I've been reading John Ashbery or Gertrude Stein ever since I took your course. It's a great feeling. We went to Prague a few years ago, just announced to all the people in the course we were going to Prague, and 30 people showed up. Some of them had traveled, one had traveled from Israel, somebody had traveled from Edinburgh, somebody from Switzerland, the rest were from the Czech Republic. And we spent an hour talking about one poem. We made a video. We all went out to a pub. It was great. I'm still in touch with 3 or 4 of the people who met me at this meetup in Prague. They're all still involved. And that recording that we made is now part of ModPo. We've added it. So that if this was a close reading of Robert Creeley's poem, I Know a Man. And now in the ModPo site, you can encounter the group from Prague from 3 or 4 years ago talking about that poem. This is a way in which I would say this kind of course can be globally iterative so that you can encourage people around the world to make, in effect, copycat videos of what you're doing and therefore crowdsource the teaching. It's really quite something. This past fall we went to London, the ModPo team and I, and we held 3 events. 2 of them were open to everyone. We had an overwhelming number of people. They were so pleased to see us. And once again, we made some new videos and added it to the course. So we're now committed to traveling every year to meet our ModPo people. But here at the Kelly Writers House at the University of Pennsylvania, home base for ModPo, people are often making pilgrimages. That's the wrong word, it's a pretentious word, but people are often showing up saying, oh, this is where ModPo is filmed, can I come in? Of course you can come in. And they get to mix with my current students and my colleagues. And although they only took a course, it's a non-credit course, and in the case of ModPo, a free course, they really feel like they've been taught, that they have had access to these resources. But when all is said and done, most of all, what a massive open online course can do for your materials and for your pedagogy is offer a multi-generational and a multinational and multilinguistic perspective on the material. In this case, English language poetry. Multi-generational. Most of the students that I teach here at the University of Pennsylvania are between 18 and 22 years old, and my graduate students are typically in their 20s, maybe to their late 20s. And they come from a relatively homogeneous base, you know, American and Canadian, and to some degree UK base. ModPo's perspective on the same poems is multi-generational and multinational. And that means that the way I've been teaching Dickinson for 30 years is challenged and renewed. And that's really what it's all about. When we open up the university's resources to everyone, the whole thing gets enriched. I highly recommend the experience. It has really made me, given me a fresh sense of what the possibilities of teaching are.